My name is Stefan Brigati, and I've been investigating the paranormal for over 30 years. Come along with me and my team as we take a journey into the unknown. This is My Darkest Hour.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, it's a brand new year, 2026. I took a little break there towards the end of the year. I had a lot of things going on in my life, big things happening. I'll glad to tell you guys about that in the next few weeks. But like I said, I really wanted to get back to the show. And a lot of people have been rewriting me saying, hey, man, what's going on? What are you doing? It's like, just kicking back, enjoying the holidays, eating a bunch of food, because that's what I do during those times. But seriously, we've had a lot of changes happening, a lot of big things happening. Really wanted to push hard on the show, get more information out there. You guys have been amazing, following us on iHeartRadio and YouTube and everything else, of course. Really appreciate it. And obviously, here is Abby with me, my co-host, as always. Starting early with her questions and answer kind of thing, but she was excited. She's been missing the opportunity to see you guys and to spend some time with you and just kind of dig in to what we have for this year. Right off the top, I get it. I announced the Paracon the beginning of the year every year, but like I said, I had to do some adjusting and get things together to really make that happen. For this year, big, exciting. But the 2026 Paracon is going to be on Friday, June 5th and Saturday, June 6th. So those of you who've been waiting, this is your chance. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Email me if you have any questions. For those who want to be vendors again, and we've had such amazing vendors at this event, you can reach out to me at PacificCoastParacon.com, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. Those who want to sign up and join us, I'll be doing my thing. I'll be doing the ghost tours of the Majestic Ventura Theater, like always. And those of you who have taken the tours, you know how great they are because something always happens. So it's pretty amazing. The spirits are really excited this year to get back to it. And of course, Patty Negri, my partner in crime, and all the stuff that we do. So we're doing 2 nights of gallery readings and seances. Those of you who watched the documentary about the Majestic saw what happened during the full moon seance that we did there, which was pretty amazing. It's part of the show. So you too can be a part of all of this. And a little bit different this year. I got a couple new speakers coming. You guys might know Eric Van Leer. He's a longtime guy that I've known in the paranormal, does a lot of good research. So it'd be great to hear from him. Eva Antoniado is a well-known psychic, and she used to be a teacher at the university that I do all my paranormal teaching at. So she was a teacher for like psychic studies and all kinds of stuff. And I'll be honest, she gave me one of the best readings I ever had in my life. I get some great readings, because I'm a very open energy force, but she was nailing things that nobody in my entire life has ever nailed. And I'm just like, oh, cool. So she will be joining us at the Paracon. And of course, Ann Benders, you guys know from Haunted Hospitals and Haunted 911. And of course, my longtime good friend, Brian Clune. Yes, the master writer, who I've been very graced with writing in some of his books, some parts, will always be with us. He hit me up yesterday. It's like, what's going on? What's happening? Let's do this. It's like, all right, cool. So those are the ones I'm announcing right now. Keep an eye out. If you have social media, you can find us at Pacific Coast Paracon on Facebook and learn about what's happening. And I'll be doing a post every day up until the day of the event. So if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. you have any questions about the University Magicus, where me and Patty and everybody teach at, be glad to answer your questions about that as well. But let's move on. My darkest hour. We have our first guest of 2026. Now, this is a longtime friend of mine. I'm real excited to have her. I was going through my list of people I want to have on the show, and she popped up. I'm like, oh, bam. Totally going to reach out to her, and it's great to have her on the show. Let's catch up. I haven't been down south in that area or out to, I think, Riverside and stuff where I would run into her. I think last time I ran into her was Vulture City a couple of years ago. But it's great to get a hold of her and have her on the show. She's been on the show, I think, a long time ago when it was just the radio show. She wasn't doing the video essence of the videography that we have here in our high-tech room. Maybe not so high-tech. But let's go ahead and bring her on the show and let's talk about what she's got going on. Turn on her microphone here. Hey, Kady.
Hey, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you doing out there?
You are right. Last time we saw each other was Vulture City in near Wickenburg, Arizona. They
Yes.
they did it for 3 or 4 years, and then unfortunately they moved to Tennessee. The Yates did that. Yeah, that was really a good thing going, and it was like, oh no, they're moving, but. Yeah. So
it's okay. I might be taking over. So.
Oh, awesome.
Well, remember, I'm the host of that event for all those years.
Well,
all the guys like, hey, everybody, what's going on? Hey, yeah. So I was that guy, and then they took off, and I started building this relationship with all them. We talked a lot about it. Nothing really big is happening. There's little overnight things that are kind of cool, but it's like I really want to get back to putting on the full event again. And this is the reason why. When you're there, and you go to the brothel right there.
Mm-hmm.
I am very popular in that brothel. Those ladies in there love me. We got the piano to play 3 times in a row right in front of us. Like, there were 10 of us. It was amazing. But, and I say this all the time, I'm very popular in these old ghost towns, the Western style, where the brothels are. They just connect with my vibe, and they're super nice to me. I've had great experience. I've had the smell of sugar cookies come through the room, sweet bread, in the kitchens that don't have anything going on in there, but you can smell it, which is like a way of them saying, hey, we got guests, come in and have fun. So I really miss them, and I want to get back out there, and I'm just thinking about just doing it back up again. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's a really great place too. And it was to me, so undiscovered, and how big it was, and how many buildings were there, and how much it was like an entire ghost town with all these standing buildings that you could go investigate, and all the speakers, and the prayer conference, which is always fun. And I was like, why have I never heard about this place? So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely back to Vulture City. So,
cool. Yeah.
I was taking notes about your upcoming conference. I missed the last time, and so I've got it written down about June. Definitely have to look into that. So,
cool. Yeah, this will be my 5th one.
Yes.
And it's a lot of work. And every year I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to do it this year. Maybe I'm just going to, But the response is so great. And I was like, okay, I'm working on my vacation schedules for this year. So what are the dates? And I'm like, really? Cool. People have fun. I have fun when I'm there. It's a good vibe. The place is amazing. I'm very fortunate to have that place. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. We don't have, I don't see as many West Coast Paracons as I see the East Coast, Paracons. And we need more on the West Coast. There's so many opportunities out here.
And well, that's why I started doing it. Yeah. Nobody was doing anything.
Yeah.
And I used to do all the ones in Virginia City for my friend Doug Carnahan. And I did like 12 of those. And then he passed, of course, and then like nothing was happening anywhere. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like, hey, you know what? I've got this big haunted theater. I'm just gonna put on a Paracon here. And
I think
bingo.
the last one on the West Coast, we did Graber together.
Well, that was a long time ago. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah,
That was a
and
good one. That was fun.
we were in downtown LA together. John Temporelli was there. I can't remember everyone. But it was oh golly, on a Bunker Hill or whatever in Los Angeles. It was held at the same hotel where the original Oscars were handed out. Do
Oh,
you
the
remember?
Biltmore.
There you go. And yeah,
Biltmore Millennium.
that was
Yeah.
years ago. And occasionally one at the Queen Mary. Uh,
No.
just not a whole lot in the West Coast, and it's like we need more Paracons to go to. So much happens at them, activity and knowledge and cheering and camaraderie and just meeting everyone. So I support this.
The problem with some of those places, though, is we started doing all the paranormal stuff and these little events, and like the higher up started seeing that, like, oh, we could make money doing this, so they kind of took it over for themselves, to put on their own things. But what's funny is they never did anything with it. So it's like, okay, we can't put on a Paracon here because you want to do your Paracon, but you're not doing a Paracon. So
Now,
it's kind of like we have to kind of remind them, hey, I can step in and host this. We can put it together. Let's do it. I've had the Winchester House reach out to me to do a Paracon up there. So the opportunity is there.
yeah, Winchester House. I've gone through there several times before they allowed paranormal research, and being a medium, I was getting spirits anyway. And of course, I'm walking around with a little couple handheld pieces, recorders, whatever, trying to see if I'm getting interaction and stuff. But yeah, some of these places, they have the right concept and everything, and it's a knowledge moment. And then the other places are like it's a dollar moment, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's business. Queen Mary, after the shutdown with COVID, when they reopened, revamped how they handle things and doubled their prices and changed their format and their people. And it's just like,
Yeah.
So that's the sad part, is like, you're talking about being in the field for 30 years. I've been thinking what I've seen change in everyone's approach from 20 plus years ago to now. It can be such a money-making format now, whereas 20 years ago we were all there for the knowledge, and that's what we were sharing with each other, and no one was looking as much to make money years ago as we were like, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with you, this piece of equipment or this experience or whatever. And the mindset has changed, and I think TV has a little bit to do with that. So,
Well, social media in a lot of ways has changed that. I'm big on research.
yeah,
I'm huge on research, and even with and I do a lot of TV shows and stuff, and it's like, are we really getting research when we're doing these things? Sometimes, I'm not saying I don't, have an issue doing these shows, but it's a different kind of mindset. Am I going to film a TV show, or am I going to go to this amazing place and gather my research and do comparisons? So it's kind of weird, but I've noticed now on social media and stuff, the paranormal field, and I'm not even calling it paranormal field anymore, because the new generations are just calling it ghost hunting, and I'm watching it And it's just these young people, because I'm super old, I can say that. Uh, they do these jump scares, and they're going through the dark, and they got their little meters on them, and they're getting freaked out, but they're not really doing anything with that. They're not really. They're just
Right.
doing it to freak people out who are watching them and following them on these adventures. I get it. Adventure TV, sure, whatever, but it's not the same thing. It's not like I want to do research. I want to go back to multiple places during different times, do my recordings, do my meter work, have all that database down. And then I want to go back at a different time, maybe a full moon or something at night, and I'm going to do the comparisons and see what is the callus between the two. You know, that's a simple paranormal investigation to me, but that's how we used to do it. We don't do it like that anymore, apparently.
Right. And it is research. And you are so right. I mean, I don't want to have like, oh, the kids these days, but I do get what they're saying. I get it because there are a couple of Facebook groups or whatever I'm part of, and their whole approach is kind of like going to Not Scary Farm. I mean, what's hiding in the bushes gonna, and you can hand anybody a K2 and it's going to go off.
Yeah, yeah,
Research is what natural causes might be making this happen, but it's going off. So it's, five bad spirits coming to follow me home. And it's 0 to 60, the mindset, and it's sad because, um, I'm so glad that you mentioned you're at the university and everything. If there's an opportunity to educate, slow down, think about it, look for natural causes, very old school processing. It's a lot uh, closer to someone finding some answers that we've all been looking for than, oh, I got to jump 5 times tonight.
yeah.
We went to Star of India ship in the San
Okay,
Diego
cool.
area. And we went there back when it was $7 a person, and we had to beg them to go on. They're like, paranormal, okay, maybe. They really weren't into it yet. We're talking 15, 20 years ago. And so it's $7 a person, and we're going on at 10 at night. We're staying to 6 in the morning, and we're worn out. But we're going back and we're having spirits refer to us by name. And, on the spirit box, which I use with caution because so much of the spirit box is radio signals, whatever. But it says, "Hi, Kady Foreman." And it's like, whoa, that took, 4 beats to get out 4 syllables. What the heck here, and I've got it recorded. Hi, Kady Foreman. How do they know my name? There's some more research right there. And that's more interesting to me to follow up on something like that. Like you're talking about going back to those places and seeing if they recognize you, the brothel at Wickenburg, they come out, they recognize you, they know this person. How do they know this person, And that's more interesting to me than jumping and screeching, you know, like
Yeah.
we used to do when we were 18 and stuff. Um, so I have high hopes for those that are going into the field, but they do tend to call it ghost hunting. They look up to certain television people that have been on TV for too long, in my opinion, promoting less than safe approaches, and stuff. And so it's like when I was first learning, I was looking around and who do I imitate and what catches, my attention and stuff. And so we kind of have a responsibility to present, ethical and safe practices to those that are coming into the field, because somebody coming into the field might actually invent something that connects, so much better than the pieces of equipment we've tried to work with and stuff. Someone coming into the field might actually get the answer of why they're here and how they're here, and so it's a sense of responsibility. And like I've been doing this 25 years, it's just a sense of what can I bring, and be cautious about what I'm representing out there and stuff. So
Yeah, it is true, and the bigger shows, and I don't even know, because like TV has kind of died in a sense. It's all streaming services now, so you can stream and go any direction and platform you want to go on now, and I get that, but some of the classic ghost hunting shows are still there. I mean, I work for one, so I do feel that it is a big responsibility to do it in a certain manner, and even doing stuff that if you're not doing it on the show, maybe you have like special events where people can come and learn from you. Because these TV shows, they're always talking about, oh, these super expert and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, if you're a super expert, show me your expertise. Tell me something new that I could use for my knowledge. I want to know, but we don't really get those opportunities. We get these really fast made TV shows. And my followers know who I'm talking about. They followed my career and they know who I work with. It's a strange experience for me because I see these TV shows, but I follow these shows. And I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys are out here, they're doing this and they're going through all that. Well, now, for the past 5 years, I've been working for the biggest paranormal TV show in the world. And sometimes they're there for 4 hours doing this stuff. So where's the chance to really get into the meat of the investigation, which is cool for me because part of my job is I get a call from one of the scouts and they say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? House in California has activity. Can you go and give us a report on Monday? So I'll go out there, which is cool because if it's a haunted historical location, I'm the first person they actually meet, right? So I get their phone number, their contacts, and all this stuff, and then I'll do my thing, my investigation, and get all my details, and then I'll go back and I'll call Zach or whoever's there and give them my report. Say, hey, dude, this happened, blah, blah, and they get an idea of what they want to do, and then they go out there and they do it. So, it's a different mindset. I love the part of going to a new historically haunted location and just feeling the vibe, because you go to all these different places and they all feel so different. It's like,
Yeah,
what's waiting for me? Who are these people? Who are you? I want to know who you are, and that kind of cool stuff.
we went to a place in San Diego. Everybody wants to go to the Whaley House down there, and we were taken to a house. It's called the something district. I don't want to say red light district. There's a something district down there in San Diego. It's old. It's an old town, not too far from the Whaley House, and it's an old hotel house museum now. And Heath something. I remember the word Heath is in there. But anyway, they offer tours during the day. And then if you hook up with the right person, you can get a private nighttime investigation, 3-4 hours, whatever. So we did that. And it made the Whaley House like a non-issue anymore. This other location in San Diego, the vibration, and like I say, being a medium helps me because it's one of my tools. I go in and I'm accidentally interacting with the spirits and I'm naming them off. I've got a guy walking through here. He looks and behaves like Lurch from, what was it, the Addams Family or something?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, he was tall and he was like, walking. And they're like, "Oh, that's Henry," and telling me we were we were downstairs, and she called up, and the tour hostess that was with us goes there all the time, knows the spirits. She's also a medium. She calls upstairs and says, Frank, I'm going to bring my friends up. Is that okay? Well, we hear pound, pound, pound. This house is 3 stories. There's nobody else in the house. And I'm looking at everybody like, seriously, did that just happen? Or is that coming from outside? Where's my natural causes? And we go up there and she says, "Oh, I brought a burger for whatever the other spirit's name was. I'm sorry, Frank, I should have brought you German food." And out loud on my recorder, a male says, German food. Well, there's only 3 females up there. And we're like, what? We looked at each other. I've got the EVP. I'm not getting rid of that EVP. But to be sitting there and hear that with your own ears and hear him pounding on the wall, and you can't explain that. And you're talking about the new and the different vibrations. It was incredible. You could just feel these spirits are these people. It's like when you walk into a party, you go in the different rooms, you get the vibes off of the people in there. And it was just incredible to have that moment and that experience just, re-energize the whole night. It's like, what is going on here? Um, when I'm going to places now, when our team goes to places, we love a new place because all the information is new and fresh, and it's not, this is the Queen Mary and this is what you should be looking for. It's, you find it on your own. And um, there's something energizing about going to a new place, you know, um, where I love the Queen Mary though.
Yeah, such
we,
a great spot.
we practically live there, but yeah, but going to these new places and stuff, and experiencing them and taking in your own experience and your own interaction and your own piece of equipment, your own recordings and stuff. I always tell everybody, if nothing was happening, I would take up a new hobby like tennis. But because the pieces of equipment are going off and the recordings that we get are incredible and stuff. We're getting confirmation all the time, but in 25 years, I can't seem to move forward as to how and why. I can get spirits interacting, no problem. But how and why, we're still looking. So it's still fun.
So take us back a little bit. Tell us about when you were young. Growing up, like when you were discovering your abilities and stuff, and how you got into the paranormal, basically.
Well, yeah, I started having dreams between age 10 and 13 that would come true a couple days later, and they'd be somewhat abstract, somewhat direct, and then they would come true a couple days later. And it's like, what does this mean? Because when you're 10 through 13, all I had on TV was the Twilight Zone and Frankenstein movies, not a lot to refer to. And of course, mom and dad would try and shut it down, like, oh, no, 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 none of that here and stuff. Well, when I was 14 through 18, I started babysitting at a house out in Redlands, California. And now this house is known as Major Haunted in the city. Back then, it was just my parents' friends owned the house. It wasn't a famous house. But you'd I'd hear a noise and I'd go to the main staircase and a statue would be facing downward. And I'm like, oh, that's a creepy statue. And I'd go up the stairs, check on the kids, come back to go down the stairs, and the statue's now facing upward. Like someone had scooted it sideways. And I thought, I must be imagining this. And then the little kids wanted me to put the roller paper in a player piano and have the player piano, play. And we couldn't reach the roller paper. It was way up on this old bookcase. And I said, you know what? I really don't feel comfortable even messing with this thing. The kids were 3 and 4 years old. They went to bed. I went downstairs. Hour later, I hear a piano upstairs, tra la 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 la. And I'm like, oh, those darn kids. They went and put the paper up there. So I went upstairs and they're asleep in bed. And, at 3 years old, you're not real good at faking being asleep. I mean, they were out. And I hear the music and I go down the hallway and I'm creeping down there. Like, okay, what's going on? And I get to the room, and just as I get to the door, the music stops. Okay. And I look in, and the doors of the player piano are open. There is no paper there, empty. No way that piano can be playing without that paper rolling through. And I'm just sitting there, I'm 15, 16, and I just think, what? I can't make sense of it. Part of me kind of knows what's going on. The other part of me is like, and I'm stuck here until the parents get home. And years later, ran into the lady that owned the home. And I said, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in years. How are the kids? This and that. She says, oh, we sold that old house. And I said, I just got to ask, is it haunted? And I thought, oh, she's going to go and tell my parents and say your daughter's. She says, oh, man, was it haunted? Oh, boy, was it haunted. This happened and that happened. Okay. So I thought, well, I'm going to go knock on the door of this place. Now it's a bed and breakfast. Now the new owner is renting out the rooms. And so I had a little talk with her. I used to babysit here. It was haunted. I know you don't know me from Adam, but can my team come in and investigate this place? Now I'm an adult. And she said, yeah, come on in. So we came back on a Tuesday night when they didn't have any of the rooms booked. And she let us stay the night for free and investigate the place. So it's kind of weird seeing it through older eyes. And we got so many EVPs and so much activity and just weird. There was a doll in the basement, and like your little Gabby friend there was a doll in the basement, and we asked for a sign. The doll falls off the shelf, and we're like, oh, this is just fascinating, So, yeah. So, would love to go back to that house again. It's changed owners several times. It's gone from bed and breakfast to private home, back and forth. But would love to go back there and research it again. Yeah. Some owners, they're not so big on having you in there. They believe you'll disrupt their vibration, you'll upset the spirits, and that's okay. I want to say, no, we won't. But
well, spirits, they will let you know when you are bothering them. That is not a thing. They don't have to worry about that, because when a spirit doesn't want to be bothered, you'll know.
We were at the hotel that's up in Lake Arrowhead that used to be owned by Bugsy Siegel. And this is years before, it used to be they let us go up there for free and stay the night on a Tuesday or Wednesday because there weren't a lot of people staying the night. Now they charge like $100 a person or something. Again, they jump on that bandwagon. But we had a camera and we were filming, And just before our camera shuts off, a spirit voice says, "No cameras today." And suddenly the camera malfunctions. Um, Again, how are they able to do that? It's like,
Well, they can do that with positively charged ions. They're made of these ions that circulate together. The question is, for me, is how do they remain conscious with that? It's almost like a fiber optic thing happening with the electricity. Because like you were talking about, how do they know who you are? As soon as you come in the area, just like any type of energy charge that you might walk into an energy field, your body's going to react. As soon as you come into contact with their energy, they know your name. They know what you like. They totally got you down. The question is now you need to figure out what they're all about. So they have the upper hand advantage. And that's how they know your name. I'm not only famous for that one brothel, it's pretty much every brothel I go to. It's just ridiculous. My team goes, dude, really? I'm like, I can't help it, man. The word travels with these guys, I guess. I don't know.
word gets
But,
around in the spirit world.
yeah. Coming to visit you next week, I heard. Yeah, be cool to him. It's like, all right, cool. Let's hang out.
We did the Calico ghost town out in the desert. We did the mines out there. And you could tell, talking about walking into their energy, we had people that are not psychic claim, I'm as psychic as a doorknob. And they could feel energy shifts in different areas where the history as, possible other events have happened here or something. Um, but yeah, you're talking about the energy, being able to feel it. You don't necessarily have to be psychic to feel vibrations increasing and decreasing around you. Uh, Again, I connect it to, like, you go to a party, you pick up on the vibe of the room. You don't have to be
Mhm.
psychic, you know, and go to a place where the spirits are more active for some reason. I go to antique shops and spirits love, I had a little old lady saying, "I made that doily. I knitted it with my hands." And
Oh, that's so cool.
she was begging me, "Please," it was like $3. "Please, please, please, I want someone to own my doily." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll buy your doily." So I bought it. It's in my house. Is my house haunted? No. She may or may not have been happy about that. It doesn't mean that she followed it. We have investigated houses where someone brought something home from an antique shop and suddenly there is activity there. So depending on who the spirit is and how they interact with the vibration of the living. Um, you hate to tell somebody you need to get rid of that piano, and
Yeah, it's sad, It's like you don't want to hurt the spirit's feeling. Well, you're gonna get rid of my things. It's like, you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
I'm
It,
sorry, but I try to do my best. I have an entire unattached garage full of haunted items in there.
See, you
It's
need
pretty
to,
good. But then I have
like,
my house full of haunted items too. I got
yeah.
obviously my co-host who's like super haunted. Everyone loves her at the academy. So I'm like, okay. So she gets excited about that. She gets excited that she gets to just be a part of this. So that's cool.
She actually tells me that there's something missing that goes with her. So there's an item or something that,
Yeah and no.
okay,
I
that,
didn't have I didn't have a stand for her. So I had this Rob Zombie deco thing, like a background thing, and I used to sit her on it and wrap her skirt over it.
okay.
And she's been with that for a long time. And it's like over here. But I told her, I don't want you sitting around with your skirt hiked up because she goes to other paranormal events and all these special events where there's other haunted dolls, they have play dates together, which is pretty amazing. And I said, I'm going to get you an actual stand that'll hold you up, and you'll feel better and you'll look great. And so it's new to her. And she's just like, I don't know, this is kind of weird, this thing.
Okay.
And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. She's presenting to me that this is not a complete story. I don't, and so, yeah. But we're talking about the TV shows. When we did My Ghost Story, when we arrived there, we were in the parking lot, and the producer met us in the parking lot and said, okay, we're going to make it scary. And I'd gone there with the intention to set the world right, okay? I was going to make it authentic. No, I'm not. It's out of my control. Turns out the editor has the most control. And so, yeah. And so they hand me this script, and we're going to talk about the Queen Mary. This is the one I was on with Bob Davis, Brian Clune's buddy.
Uh-huh.
And so they hand me the script about the Queen Mary, and they want me to sit in front of the camera and, okay, memorize these lines. Okay, now look at the camera. The Queen Mary docked in 1967. I just learned this 2 minutes ago. I mean, I knew about the Queen Mary, but not every little intricate detail. Yeah. And stuff. And so then later on, they had me sharing my experiences, which is why we were on the show in the first place. But when it came on TV, they chopped my words. So I was suddenly saying different sentences than I had actually said. Because I'm talking about Jackie in the pool, allegedly drowned, although there's no documentation. I'm going to do this whole spiel. And then you watch the show, and I say, Jackie drowned in the pool. And I can see how chopped it is in that moment. It's edited that way. And I didn't want to present to the public, Jackie drowned in the pool. It just sounds like I'm jumping on hearsay,
Yeah.
And stuff. And so later on, when we were on Most Haunted, can't remember the other one on A&E that was on Most Haunted, I think it's called.
That's the English one.
Okay, it wasn't Most Haunted. It was the other one on A&E, and it's called. It was about a girl that was playing with a Ouija board, trying to bring back her deceased boyfriend, and
a haunting.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, I'm like, it sounds like a haunting.
That's what it is. All hell broke loose. And, they got a hold of us. And so this was one case. I mean, we used to do, oh my gosh, we've been out, this year is our 20th year. And we used to do one case a week. And then I realized how saturated we were, how we cannot give everyone a deeper researched experience if we're spreading ourselves that thin. So, we have to do one a month instead of one a week. But back then we went to this home, and this was one of the rare ones where they ended up having to move out and we could not solve it. After she played with the Ouija board, her mom was a manicurist, fingernails, and they had triangles all over the wall drawn from the nail polish. And while we were there, bottles of nail polish were changing locations, and we've got on film, it was not here. We pan the camera away, we pan around the room, we come back to the water bottle, and there's a bottle of nail polish sitting on the lid of the water bottle. I mean, just like that. And the scratches in the wall, and they were walking down the staircase. There was a pickaxe on the staircase that should have been in the garage. Really freaky things. And while I was there, I had a spirit telling me, choke the client, choke the client. It's like, what? Because I don't usually get that kind of conversation and stuff. So that is portrayed on a haunting, like 95% accurate. That the actors reenacted us very well, and the whole situation, the editing was done well. I was really happy with the end result of that particular show. My ghost story, not so much. That was kind of edited for entertainment.
Oh, I know. I got a couple episodes with those guys, and it's like, really? It's kind
Yeah.
of hit and miss. Either it's like, oh, this is a really cool part, and all of a sudden it goes into something like, what? Yeah. Like, okay. But like you said, the editors, they don't know the story or the circumstance. They just kind of fit it together to try to make it make sense and move on. They don't care.
I get it. It's for entertainment purposes. I get it. I am friends with Brian Kano, who was with the
Yeah, I know, Brian.
Haunted Collector. Yeah, and he said, "Let it go, let it go. It's all." And he's on the paranormal, Cotton Paranormal. So it's all for
Yeah.
entertainment and stuff, and you just have to understand that one half of what you're seeing is authentic and one half of it's for entertainment. We just don't know which is which if we weren't there. But you can learn from that. You can learn possibly what not to do, what to expect. Look for natural causes, as I say over and over. We've got a person right now. Oh my gosh, she's sending me a film every single day. Her Ring camera, every time she leaves, spirits are talking to her through her Ring camera. Now, she's got the voices, and they're calling her names, they're cussing her out, and we're kind of like, if they're so strong to use your Ring camera, why are they not doing anything else in your home? Why is it only the Ring camera? Could this be, interference from other technology coming through? Change your password. Check with your neighbors. Every time she goes, well, not every time. 80% of the time she goes out that front door and walks to her car, and that Ring camera, somebody goes, bitch, to her.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And one time she was carrying a plate of deviled eggs, and they go, eggs, and it's like, this is bizarre. This is bizarre that this is happening only at the front porch, day or night, and only on the Ring camera. Nothing's going missing, nothing's moving, nothing's flickering in the house. So
sounds like she got hacked, though. She might want to check into that.
Yeah, that's what we're asking her to do at this.
Because we come across that, I have video of this little girl playing in her room, and voices were coming from the camera that was in the room. The little girl was talking to the camera, and somebody hacked into their system.
Oh, yeah.
So they might just be doing it just to mess with her, I do it. I have a Ring camera, and I can, sometimes at my front door, I can press the button and start talking to it and stuff.
We did a home where a mother had a 9-year-old little boy, and the spirits were bothering him quite a bit and frightening him, and she wanted us to come out. Well, we're investigating, and one of our people always has her camera on, several cameras, and she has this 360 circle camera you set on the ground, and it can get everywhere, and it's circling around looking up to the balcony in the home, And the little boy looks over and he doesn't realize there's a camera down there now in his home. And he's looking for us, the investigators. And he throws a water bottle over and runs back. And then his mom
Mm.
says, now see, I get water bottles thrown at me all the time. And we're like, okay.
Uh,
How do we tell mommy?
yeah, was it a teenager? Because they do that a lot.
No, this boy was 9 years old. Well,
Learning early.
yeah, she'd let him watch a few shows and he thought it was cool. So he wanted to have his own ghost in his house. And that's another thing we're going through. Because it's so cool now than it was 25 years ago. When we find natural causes, we have people very upset with us that we're telling them they don't have a spirit. They demand that they have a spirit. They've got to have a spirit. It's like the in thing. It's like, okay, in my opinion, here's what's going on, and stuff. But it's kind of the cool chic thing to do is to have a spirit in your home, and when you can call out for your party guests or whatever. Everybody wants a spirit now.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think that's kind of disrespectful to the spirit. I'm very, very, very respectful of spirits, and I think that's why I do so well.
Yeah,
Plus the fact
exactly.
they can't pretend like they're not there. I know they're there, and they know that I know they're there. So it's like, okay, what are we
I
doing
also
now?
When you show up, your history shows up with you, like you're saying,
Yeah,
I think the
yeah.
spirits are talking.
And if they don't want to be a part of it, I've seen them. They just leave. They're
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
oh, they go to the backyard or wherever they're gonna go hang out until everyone's done, and then they'll come back later. It depends on their mood.
Right.
I've seen spirits standing in corners hiding and looking at me and going like this. It's like, do I say that she's standing right there, or do I just let her go because she's asking me? It's one of those kind of things.
We did a restaurant down in Orange County that used to be a doctor's home, and we did it every year for 10 years straight until they didn't want paranormal people there for a while. But yeah, some nights they're very, very active and hey, glad to see you, whatever. And of course, this particular doctor's home back in the 20s, I think he performed illegal operations. And so in this home are a lot of women that might have died because of his illegal operations. And they're either embarrassed or upset and they don't feel like interacting with us. And they're hiding in a corner or upstairs. And other nights, they're talking to each other and talking to our cameras when we're out of the room. And then we come back and play the film and they're on there talking, but they won't talk to us. They'll talk to the camera, but not to us. So again, you have to learn like encouragement. I'm very
Absolutely.
gentle, I'm very safe, I'm very respectful. Please come talk to me.
Yeah, that's the best way to do a paranormal investigation. Be the cool person, Don't be those people who came in here demanding that the spirit do this or that for you. It's like, hey,
Oh my
I've
gosh.
come all this way to hang out with you. What are we gonna do? Let's hang out and chill. I'll go through some of those old houses and I'll just play music from their time and say, come down and join me. This is so much fun. I love this place. And they slowly start coming out. And I realized a long time ago with the McKay Mansion, I did a live feed and I started talking about the things in the house, just random things. Like, oh my God, this chandelier is so beautiful. I heard this is an original, blah, blah, blah. The wallpaper, look at the quality. I just start doing that. And all of a sudden we start getting EVPs of a lady like talking about it, saying, "Yeah, blah, blah." We start getting these stories because that makes them comfortable. They want to talk about the cool things in their house, you know. They want to talk about their good times, you know. Did you guys have family outings out here? Like I could just see a big wedding in this backyard, you know. That's cool. Instead of being the guy that's like, "What's your name? You tell me what year it is. Do
I
you
could
know that you're
win.
dead?" It's like, oh my
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost like you're saying the more you treat them as if they were living still, because there is, in my experience, there is a possible part to their essence that they miss living. They miss certain things. They appreciate that we admire their home. You know, have you been to Heritage Square in Los Angeles?
no, I have the Heritage Square down the street from me in Ventura County. So.
Get to the one in LA too. Um, Don Staggs is big on that place, and
Yeah, but Don Staggs left me and moved out of state, so
he gets
me and Don,
around.
me and Don go way back. You know, we've been
Oh,
doing this
I
stuff
know,
together for
I
years.
know. But he gets around. He gets around. We can get him back out to California. Uh, but anyway, yeah. So definitely at that place, the more you admire, and these homes are, you know, turn of the century, 1880, 1900s, and a lot of original things in there. And the more you admire the hard work and what living there might be to these people, the more they do interact with you. They appreciate that you acknowledge them as former living people that had hard work and, you know, cared about their homes. And now you're there appreciating their home. And yeah, they're going to interact with you. You come there and you start challenging and demanding and stuff. I mean, what would I do if I had a living person in front of me challenging me and demanding? I'm going to like not interact. They
No,
don't
you
want
gotta be cool. And they know when you're coming to be cool. They're like, oh, cool, this lady's got a nice vibe to her. Let's go see what she's doing. Oh, hey, welcome to the house. That kind of stuff. You know,
yeah,
all
yeah,
about being cool.
yeah. I I have learned, and, you know, and that's why when these newly formed groups are going out and saying, "Hey, we're going to walk through a cemetery. I'm going to hand out a bunch of K2s," and then it becomes sort of a like a scare fest opportunity for these new and learning interested parties. That's how I began. 25, 30 years ago, I was going with groups, not knowing a whole lot, not understanding the equipment, and wondering, is this going to be a scare fest? Oh, look, they're respectfully asking questions. Oh, there's some merit to that, you know? And that goes back to my opening statement of feeling like there's a responsibility for those that have been in the field 20 plus years to, you know, help in the new ghost hunters, you know, with learning the respect and everything, the respect. You got to respect our spirits.
Yeah, they're people too. So be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool. All right, we have come to the top of the hour. We're going to have to wrap. That's the problem with these shows; they go by so fast. You know, we're just catching up basically and talking about some cool things. So I want to thank you for joining us on the show and spending some time with us and giving us a little piece of your knowledge of what you like to do and how you do your approach to your paranormal investigative work.
Thank you so much.
All right. We're gonna wrap. Thank you everybody out there listening to My Darkest Hour. I will be back next week with another edition. So I'll give you guys a promo about that. In the meantime, you guys going out there and you're doing your investigations, remember, investigate safe. So, and be sure to drink something. Hydration. You know, don't drink alcohol because that totally that'll make you more thirsty. It dehydrates you. So I'm very, very uh, adamant about drinking and staying hydrated because I've seen people go through these things and you don't know what to expect. Heat flashes, cold flashes. I've seen people pass out. So don't be that guy. Make sure you drink. So, all right, we're gonna wrap now. And Kady, thank you so much. You can find her at Calpera. And what's your website's name?
Calpera.org for Calpera Research,
Cool.
California Paranormal.
That's right. Paranormal research, people. Remember, I've met millions and millions of investigators, but I have met few researchers. This is your time to step up and show what you can do and share your information with everybody. And be sure to come to my Paracon, which is a great place to share all your information. Until then, we'll see you guys next time right here on My Darkest Hour.
My name is Stefan Brigati, and I've been investigating the paranormal for over 30 years. Come along with me and my team as we take a journey into the unknown. This is My Darkest Hour.